Hi folks, and welcome back. This is Monte Taylor with episode 9 of Masterful Prospecting. If I had to choose the one thing that most salespeople and network marketers seem to fear the most, this would be the one. By the way, it's a totally unfounded fear that has the power to completely undermine and destroy your possible success with prospects. If you are willing to consider a new frame of reference on this one, by learning some proven principles and techniques, then this one thing will cease to be your problem. So let's get busy and completely cross this problem off of your list. In my experience, over and over watching thousands of networking and sales transactions, it's the fear of closing. In my coaching practice, this question comes up again and again and again, usually expressed this way. I just don't know what to say after I've given the person samples of my product, or I've shown them my literature, or I've shown them a streaming video, or they've seen my presentation. Now what do I do? Here's the answer, and it's simple. Learn to close. Closing has been compared to fastening the last button of an overcoat. So why do so many people inadvertently seem to miss that last button? The problem, and the reason that so many network marketers fear closing, is they just don't understand it. Novice salespeople think of closing as saying something clever to get the prospect to say yes, and that could not be further from the truth. What if I told you that closing is in fact one of the very best ways to figure out what's really going on in your prospect or client's mind? And it is not a talking them into process, but a discovery process. Let me say that again. Closing is not a talking people into something process. Closing is a discovery process. If you are truly interested in discovering what's going on in your prospect's mind, then ask closing questions. If you want to clarify, ask closing questions. If you want to be a very skilled prospector, then learn to ask even better closing questions. It's not trying to convince people, which doesn't work and doesn't serve anyone's best interests in the long term. There comes a time in every relationship transaction when it's time to ask for a decision. After someone has seen your presentation, after you've addressed a few initial questions or objections, here are some outstanding general questions you can ask your prospects to close. These closing questions will help you understand what the prospect is thinking or feeling. The questions also help draw your prospect into a conversation that can clarify any of the issues. The good news is these questions are easy. There are many more examples of closing questions in my book, Objections Handled, which is available on Amazon.com. Okay, here's an example. By the way, this is one of my favorites, and I use it all the time. Chris, after everything you've seen so far, do you see yourself as more of a product person, a business builder, or both? The key is to stop and listen carefully to Chris's response. Here's the magic. If Chris is not ready, then this is your opportunity to learn what Chris really needs so she can take next steps. Here's another example. After one or more phone calls and following your presentation, you can execute a soft close by asking this. Sue, now that we've covered most of the things you wanted to know, are you ready to get started? Great question. Jamie, based on all the information we've covered so far, are you ready to get your new business started today? I think that's a fair question, don't you? Marilyn, now that we're both clear on how important it is for you to create some more cash flow in your life, are you ready for the next steps? These are soft but effective closing questions. You're not trying to be clever or crafty, and you're not trying to talk them into anything. You're simply being service-minded by discovering what may be holding them back. You're attempting to learn what roadblocks are in the way, if any, and learning how you can serve them by offering solutions. By the way, the worst that will happen is you may just find out you're completely wasting your time, and I think that's good information to know. Who wants to be in a fog? Here's one of my favorite closing questions. Be sincere and simply ask this. Bill, is there anything else you need to know? Or are you ready to get started together now? It's a great question and truly cuts to the heart of the matter. One study showed that nearly 70% of all presentations end without the presenter asking the prospect to make a decision. Apparently, many network marketers are so afraid of rejection or losing the sale that they never get around to asking for a decision. It's time to let go of this fear. Prospects and clients appreciate the professional who's willing to take the lead by asking clarifying or closing questions. Don't be one of those network marketers or salespeople who waste all of their preparation, hard work, and valuable time by being afraid to ask simple questions. Closing is smart. Closing is professional. Remember, refusal is not rejection. Prospects can never reject you. They can only reject what you're offering. And like it or not, sometimes they will. Let me share one of my personal prospecting mantras with you in hopes that once and for all you'll let go of your fear of asking people to make a decision. Remember, decisions help move life forward. Decisions are powerful. Decisions are life-affirming. Here's that mantra. I serve others by becoming a skilled closer and asking great closing questions. I serve others by helping them clarify what it is they may need or want, and what steps are necessary so they can have what it is they say they need or want. I do this by asking closing questions, and I accept the reality that no matter how skilled I am or how wonderful my products or opportunities are, some people are going to be interested and some are not. The very best way for me to serve people is to ask questions for more clarity. Once again, this is Monte Taylor, and let's keep finding ways to make prospecting easy.